Hello, welcome to Money with Mark Albert. Today we're going to talk about the decision that the six big banks made to give us financial flexibility and relief on our mortgage and other credit products. But I want to talk about, give you advice that's very important so that you don't make a mistake during these difficult times. And so very easily people may assume certain things, and that may not be the case. So what I want to do is provide some clarity for us on what this announcement means and how that impacts you. You might be in hardship financially right now because of the COVID-19 coronavirus situation. You might not be, but you may eventually become. So what I'm going to tell you, I think is important. I want to share with you some things that I am aware of so that you make a better decision. First of all, I wanted to help you understand that it's not an automatic thing that, oh, I want to miss payments, I have financial hardship, so you just miss payments. Don't do that. That's not the process if you're missing payments. So the Canadian Bankers Association, they're an association that basically oversees, they have a voice for 60 domestic and foreign banks to help drive economic growth in Canada. And then they basically say that these measures are a case-by-case basis. So they're a case-by-case basis. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be able to get carte blanche, whatever you want, in terms of not making mortgage payments. So each of the six banks made specific releases, and I want to read some of them to you. RBC said, individual Canadians or business owners facing hardship are encouraged to contact their bank directly to discuss options that could be available to them. So it's not like you necessarily can just skip your payments, right? You got to contact them. Scotiabank's official release says the same thing. National Bank's official release says the same thing. BMO's official release says the same thing. CIBC say a little bit different. They say Canadians in financial hardship can contact their CIBC advisor or call a certain number to discuss options to improve their cash flow over the short term by reviewing their payment obligations. So if you're under financial hardship and you want relief on any credit products, and particularly on your mortgage, so they're basically in their announcement saying that, your credit products like credit cards, personal lines of credits, a line of credit that has a lien on the house is a secured line of credit. So we call that a HELOC, home equity line of credit. That's a mortgage product. So on your mortgage products, this is how it's going to work, all right? And first of all, it's not just these six banks. I talked to a couple other banks this morning and that are not part of the big six, and they told me that they are going to do the same thing. They're going to look at a case-by-case basis and evaluate your situation, and they're going to have flexibility based on your situation. So let's say you're like, oh, I can't keep up. It's financially, the burden's too great. Call your bank that you have your mortgage with and talk to them. All right, so when they talk about 6 months deferral, they're not saying skipping payments. They're saying that those 6 months, or it could be 3 months, could be 4 months, depending on how the discussion goes, they're simply going to take those payments and then just kind of put them in the back end of the mortgage. So you're eventually going to make these payments. It's just that you're not making them now. Now, these are some questions that I want you to understand. I want you to understand this. It's important you understand this. You can't just stop making payments without contacting your bank, all right? Because anyone who's lent you money in a mortgage product, you're under a legal and contractual obligation to pay them back. Monthly payments are keeping with your agreement with them. So if you stop making payments without talking to them first, what's going to happen is if you miss too many, well, first of all, you'll be in default. And so some really bad stuff could happen in terms of, because they have a lien on your house and they have legal rights if you keep missing payments and they don't know nothing about it. They just assume you're in violation of the contract, okay? So if you miss a payment and you don't call them, you just miss a payment. You miss any payment on a mortgage anytime, what happens is they will also, it's automated. They communicate to Equifax and TransUnion, the two credit bureaus in Canada. So you're going to show as a missed payment, right? So if you miss 2-3 payments, you're going to have 2-3 payments missed on your credit bureau, right? That's if you do it without contacting them. So if you go through the process to talk to your bank first, you want to also ask the question, so basically these payments are getting put on the back end of the mortgage, right? And you're not going to report to Equifax and TransUnion that I'm missing any payments, right? Is that correct? So you want to know that, okay? So let's say down the road, you check your credit bureau, you did all the right things, and they reported that you missed payments, okay? Then you need to go back to them and work that out. And that's stuff that, you know, if you have questions on that down the road, you let me know. So that's important. Now, I just want to reassure us all that the banking sector in Canada is very strong. Yeah, we're going to go through some financial hardships this year. Yes, but we've got basically the banking sector, they've got a reduction in the stability buffer required for day-to-day. They have the Bank of Canada, they're allowing for, in the federal government, they're allowing for phenomenal liquidity and flexibility and support for the banking sector in Canada. So we are going to get through this together. If you have hardships, you go through the proper process. Listen, stay safe out there. It's good being with you today. If you have any questions, let me know, and we look forward to talking to you soon.